Hello Pisces, welcome to The Modern Spiritualist. My name is Raheem. Today we're going to look at April for you guys. You can use this for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, or North Node, or really any placement that you care about. If you hear that noise in the background, that's just my rabbit. Can't do anything about that. We've been here before. For those of you that are new, hi, I'm Raheem. Okay, so Celtic Cross spread for the month of April, plus 2 Catalyst energies from the Threads of Fate Oracle deck. I'm using Quantum Tarot for the Celtic Cross spread, for those of you that are interested in that. And we'll just get started. So your Catalyst energies, we're starting there. They're going to be the threads that weave through all these cards for the month, and they are kind of the core cards that can keep you in the highest energy possible. So if you get lost in process or you have a spiral, through the month of April, you can kind of rely on the Catalyst energies to bring you back to alignment. Pulled 2, Withdraw and the Sage. They both came out upright. There's also a ton of major arcana in this spread. Like, this is like the 3rd month in a row that you guys have just had like an amazing spread. So really excited for whatever you've got going on. Okay, so the Sage, let's start there. I mean, this is who you are becoming with the work that you're doing. So whatever it is for you, whether you're, a mother or a father, a parent, a non-binary parent, or you are working on something career-wise or project-wise or whatever it is that your focus is, you are becoming the sage of that. So stepping into teacher roles, developing your teacher role more fully. You're becoming an authority in a certain way, but sage authority is different from like emperor type authority. It's the sage energy starts to materialize via the accumulation of wisdom and knowledge, and so it's about being a guide more than an authority or a boss. I mean, you are an authority in a way, but the sage isn't a controller, the sage is a guide. And so it's sort of like you're stepping into a role maybe, or just more deeply fulfilling this role that you already have, where people look up to you. It seems like you're going to be very visible this month. People look up to you for advice, for guidance in whatever your lane is. And so I think presentation is going to be important. Authentic presentation, which means being human and really showing with a sense of integrity what you're capable of, what you're not capable of, what you can guide people through, what you can't. Standing up in your honesty, your integrity, being real, and then also claiming that which you do well is going to be a really key balance for you in this month. Paired with the Withdrawal card, there's going to be periods of time, and it's coming to me in waves, so it's not like the entire month is a withdrawal month. I think this more serves as a reminder, because I feel like you're going to be very busy. You're also developing a lot of your skills and stepping into a greater sense of power. And so with that, make sure that you stay in flow. I think this withdrawal card is more about flow, because if you get to a point where you're just a little bit fried out, or it feels like you've taken on too much, or it gets overwhelming or demanding, you're just going to have to take it on your own authority to pull back. Okay, so get the rest that you need, or just get the reflection time that you need. Go inward. Everything doesn't have to be like on the world stage this month, because you're there. You are on the world stage, and we'll talk about that more with the world card. The importance here is, again, this balance thing keeps coming up, where like you can't do it all every single minute of the day all the time. You're going to have to come back and rejuvenate, especially because you're changing and developing. And so you're going to have to come back to your center and ensure that you're still in your alignment, that you're centered, that you're on the real path, and that you're not getting sidetracked by other things. Because especially for Pisces, I think when other people kind of pull you into their energy field, it's easy to get lost in that. And that's not a comment on you. That's coming out of the Piscean desire for oneness and unity and harmony, and to be there for others, right? I think it's easy for Pisces to kind of blend. So make sure that you're really in your own energy field, that you're setting good boundaries, and that you're really tapped into what it is that you want as an individual, and that you continue to go down that path without getting too sidetracked by other things. Not that you can't be there for other people, but that you need to be there for other people in a balanced way, okay? Okay, so moving into your Celtic Cross spread, here is what's at the center. You have 2 cards, 6 of Pentacles and Judgment. Beautiful. Okay, so 6 of Pentacles. Balance. all about that balance again. But I am getting a particular emphasis on resources. So whatever you need to do for yourself, for your projects, for your home, for your family, whatever the focus is, for a lot of you, it seems like it's work. But I am getting starting families, or raising children too. That's coming on relatively strong. Or just taking on students, you know, the teacher thing. Yeah. People in your care. That's definitely a hit that I'm getting. Anyway, this is about resources, shared resources, managing resources, the inflow and outflow of resources. And this is just asking you to monitor that and to pay attention, and to stay grounded, because if you are too in the ideal, you could end up in a situation where you spend too much too fast. I don't think there's a danger zone here, because none of the cards really indicate that, but it's just asking you to be mindful. And then the other side of that is being too in fear or too in the capitalist story, you know, and kind of like having a hoarding mentality, like, oh, we don't have the resources for that, when maybe you do. And so this is about not spending too much and not spending too little, and a big emphasis on the reciprocity here of like, how are you managing where your resources go? Because ideally, whatever you put into, you're going to get back, you know, an equal or more than equal return. And so really think about, you know, if you put your money in a certain area, what are the returns of that? And if you can kind of think of it that way, of like, what's the long-term capability of wherever I'm putting my resources, then that's how you're going to stay on track with that, okay? So just be a bit of an analyzer without being in fear, if that makes sense. And it's paired with the Judgment card, which means there's going to be a lot of changes in this area, and I'm feeling like probably a big influx of wealth. And it may not be this month, but it's like whatever you do this month, that's what you're going to see in the long run. And so the choices that you make around money this month really matter. And I'm not saying that to scare you, because all these cards are good. They're all really supportive cards. With the Judgment card in play here, it's basically saying that you are raising above kind of like the capitalist hoarding mentality of like linear, you know, growth that just has no bottom, which doesn't work. You know, it crashes eventually. And so stepping into this feeling of cyclical, like the cyclical nature of resources, is a moment of enlightenment, because not everybody's there. You know, we're still part of this older culture that's not really working anymore, and we can see that with the, you know, the income gap, right? And so stepping off of that ladder of linear capitalism and into this, you know, natural reciprocity story is going to completely change your wealth, because you're going to be viewing finances differently. There's going to be less anxiety. You're going to be making better choices, and you're going to see the returns of that. So this is really saying that you're going to see tangible results of your efforts as long as you stay in your center, okay? Crossing that Ten of Cups. You have everything you need. You have everything you need and more. Like, this is abundance. This is having more than enough. And that's not necessarily fully linear. Like, yes, you have enough right now to be alive, to be well, most likely, to be present. And again, this is kind of an indication that you're multiplying your rewards here, that wherever you put your resources this month is just going to bring in more and more abundance. And so it's like, you know, exponential return on investment is what you're looking at here, okay? Deep past affecting the present, we have the Seven of Wands. This has been haunting people recently, and me. So this is, you know, a recent past, I think, of energy being a little bit scattered. This month is saying it's time to consolidate, it's time to come back in, it's time to kind of form our plan and move forward, right? So any scattered energy, this is a good month to tie up loose ends, to cut threads that are no longer working, etc., to finish things out that are almost completed, so that you can fully step into a new cycle. And so what Spirit doesn't want you to take with you is this scattered energy. I mean, things get scattered sometimes, so don't freak out, but you're stepping into a position of power where you're finding the flow that works for you as a Pisces, right? As a water sign, as the disillusionment water sign, right? The going back into the oneness, the mutable stream back into consciousness. And so, you know, it's hard to be in this culture as a Pisces, I think, because it doesn't make any sense to you. And that's because it doesn't make any sense, because it doesn't actually go with the flow of nature. It doesn't go with the flow at all. And so this is an opportunity for you to step into your raw natural flow and to make it work for you, regardless of the culture around you. Okay, and so this is key. So this is what's going to prevent the scatter, because if you're really in the flow, there's going to be no scatter. You're going to be the center point, and the universe is just going to move around you, right? And so this is big. This is powerful. This is not mundane shift. This is cosmic shift. And you know, with the Pisces stellium in the sky supporting you right now, it's a great month for you to really enter a new state of alignment in a new way, and really manifest whatever you would like. So beautiful work. In your foundation this month, we have the Hermit. Yeah. So the Hermit and the Sage, super similar energies, especially paired with the Withdrawal. Like, these together is basically the Hermit. So you know, again, in terms of what's grounding you this month, you're going to have to rely on yourself, on your own firm foundation, on your own sense of intuition and what's right for you, and what is the wise thing to do right now. Because being your own guiding light naturally allows you to be a guiding light for others. It's not like you have to do any additional work. If you're right with yourself, your frequency just by nature kind of uplifts and shifts things around you. And this is, you know, what happens when you start stepping into your own frequency instead of just reacting to what's happening around you. When you start, you know, presenting yourself in a way, in your own flow, in your own alignment and integrity, it's like the space around you shifts instead of you needing to shift to accommodate. And so this is what's grounding you right now. Your foundation is, I am me, I am in my energy field, I am my energy. Nothing's going to compromise that. And from that place, it's kind of like people view you as a light source, right? And so then everything starts to change. And even if you have people in your care, or people that you're guiding, or people that you're an authority for, or you're a role model in some way, that's really all that you have to do this month, is just to be in your own field, to be responsible for your own energy, and the rest will just flow naturally. Okay. Crowning you this month, 6 of Wands and Strength. Okay. Another major arcana. So let's start with the 6 of Wands, though. Yeah, I mean, victory is yours, and you already know it. I mean, it's been in the cards the last 2 months. It's showing up again. It's going to continue to show up, because I pulled the World card in January, so I know this is a big year for you as well. And so yeah, this is saying that you're moving forward. You're moving forward at the right pace for you, and it feels like each, you know, step that you take offers you a little nugget of victory. So it's sort of like you're following this trail of breadcrumbs to your pot of gold here, and it's like nothing can stop you. And that's it. That's the only message here. Paired with the Strength card, that doesn't mean there's not going to be challenges, and that doesn't mean that, you know, things like you're not enough story, or self-doubt, or fear, or anything else like that won't come up. You know, it will. You're still human. You're still human, even though you're stepping into a greater sense of power and authority. And so just remind yourself in those moments that, you know, at your high points, as long as you're centered and aligned and grounded, whatever information you're getting from the spirit world, or whatever inspiration you feel, is 100% true. And that doesn't go away just because you may have moments where you feel doubtful, or not cut out for it, you know. And so those moments are just coming up because you're human, and it's just how you deal with them is what really matters, not the fact that they come up. Can you be compassionate for those parts of yourself? Can you show up for your fear and let your fear know it's going to be okay? Can you listen to the needs of the parts of you that feel small? And then by doing that, can you transform and transmute that denser energy and bring it into the light? Because that's the spiral, that's the path, that's how you continue to grow and develop and evolve and manifest and attract things to you. So just because you have a great month energetically doesn't mean that you won't have moods, you know. And just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. That's all. You're human. You're always going to be human as long as you're here, right? New circumstance, the Lovers. So usually I explain this as like you coming back to yourself, and that's always true with the Lovers. However, I do feel another person here, and it does seem like it could be a romantic partner. It could also be a business partner. I'm kind of getting both. So be aware of anybody new coming into your life, because it looks like they are a manifestation of yours, something that you've wanted. So yeah, an equal, somebody very equal to you in terms of like experience, maybe age, maybe not. I'm not getting as big of a hit on that, but in terms of experience, in terms of intelligence, knowledge, intuition, maybe, yeah, it's like an equal match in terms of like energetic frequency and skill level and experience, wisdom, knowledge level. And so if they're a work partner, they're perfect for you because whatever you can't do, they can, and vice versa. If it's a romantic partner, same thing. They can meet you exactly where you are. And so there's going to be a synchronicity here. So that's really beautiful. Your ego this month, we have the 9 of Cups. Wish fulfillment card. Yeah, it looks like this is a month of abundance. I think most of the things that come to you are things that you wanted or things that you need to continue to move along your path. I don't feel a lot of obstacles. The only wobble that I'm really feeling or potential spiral is like too much too soon. Like too much good stuff at once, too many things moving forward at the same time. It's like being in the abundance and then being like, oh shit, why is everything good happening and getting suspicious, which is only human. And you're growing this month, so that's hard too, because, with growth means you always leave something behind, whether it's just something that you identified with, you don't identify with anymore, or whether it's something more tangible. I'm not really feeling that. I don't think anything's really leaving your life this month other than just older versions of you. But it's like, yeah, it's like one good thing after another, and that's it. There's no catch. And I think you may be asking yourself, well, what's the catch? There's no catch. I mean, of course, there will be challenges later. Just because you have one really good month doesn't mean that something doesn't come up down the road. I'm not saying you're home free for the rest of your life, but this month is all good and there's no catch, okay? In your environment, we have the Page of Pentacles. So remember that whatever you're doing right now is it's not like a brand spanking new journey because you're entering this like new state of mastery. But it is, because you're entering a new state of mastery, is kind of like the start of that journey, like kind of the start of a new cycle. And so remember that any action that you take this month is the building blocks to what you're trying to get to. It's not all going to happen at once. Just keep that in mind. And this month is going to provide opportunities for you to just take it one step at a time. So you would ideally be taking tangible action this month. But remember that they are still just stepping stones. And just be with the journey. I think that's going to be easy for you because so much is happening fast. So it's not like you are rushing. It's more like you feel rushed. So make sure to withdraw and slow down if you feel really, really rushed. Recuperate, and then start again and just take the next step. I think just one foot in front of the other is kind of key here in terms of pacing this month. Hopes and fears. We have the 3 of Swords. You fear heartbreak, and I feel like that's pulling on a few things. One is, you have a lot of high hopes for this project or task, whatever it is. And it's so in line with your heart and soul that, of course there's fear, because if it doesn't work out, you will be crushed, but that's why it's worth doing. Like anything worth doing, would hurt if it didn't work out, otherwise why are you doing it? Why? Because it doesn't matter to you. This matters to you, and that's why you're afraid. And so just remind yourself of that you're only human, you're afraid because you care, and that's fine. Okay, so just walk with your fear, manage it. You can't push fear away. It's a biological response, right? So all you can do is just baby it, treat it like you treat any afraid child. And that's what's going to keep you in your alignment and accepting of everything that comes up in your process. Okay, the other thing is, I think there's a little bit of fear of this person coming into your life. If they're a business partner, it's like fear that they're either going to take over or they're going to be better than you, or they're just going to decide later down the road that this isn't for them, and because they work really well with you and you care about them, you really don't want them to leave your side, so there's the fear there. And then same if you have a new romantic interest this month, I think there's just fear of heartbreak, and again, it's because you care about them and you want them to stick around, which is why they're worth risking the fear, they're worth the risk. Whatever this is, it's worth the risk. So I think this is just about management. And if this is coming out of like old wounding, which of course it is, when is it not for anyone? Just remind yourself that whatever happened in the past, it isn't this new person. This new person is somebody new, somebody else. They're not going to do the same thing to you that maybe someone in the past did. And if there's baggage around that, that's going to be something you're going to need to address, either within yourself or if it feels right with that person, so that you can air everything that needs to be aired so that you're showing up with them in your integrity. Okay, so that's the only hang up there. But again, that's all mind stuff. Like all the spiral moments that I'm seeing are about everything being too good and you being like, oh shit, it's too good. Okay, so that's not the worst in the world. So just remind yourself that that's why you're in fear if you find yourself in fear, because everything's working out, and that's freaky. Outcome this month. King of Swords. This could be you or this could be somebody else, because it could be this lover's energy too, like a union of sorts. It looks like you get past the Three of Swords moment because the King of Swords is kind of antithetical to it. So it's like you learn something from this Three of Swords fear, and it looks like you address and heal it, or you move on relatively quickly and you become this King of Swords energy. And the King of Swords just knows exactly what they're after and what to do to get it. They're strategic, they're planners, they are absolutely in their power, they are very intelligent, they're in right relationship with their mind and their ego. So this could be you, this could be the partner that's coming into your life, or this could be the synergy that you create between each other because of the matching intelligence and the matching skills and knowledge. So it's like the union of the two creates this beautiful synergy, this third energy that is just so unstoppable in terms of the things that you're going after and trying to get. So keep an eye out for that business partner, keep an eye out for that romantic partner, and keep an eye out for your own development and growth, and who you're becoming, which by the end of the month looks like is a King of Swords energy. So you'll be ready to form a plan, you'll be ready to strategize. It looks like you're going to be pretty detached emotionally from it by the end of the month, not because you're emotionally detached, but because you're confident enough in yourself, in your partners, or in the project itself, what your goal, that you can detach to strategize and come up with a plan because you have full faith and trust in it. So it's not about lack of emotions, it's about the ability to separate yourself from the emotions in order to just move your operations forward in a logistical way. So that's a beautiful balance. This isn't like the rejection of emotion. This is like the emotion is so good and so there and so aligned that you can be clear-headed about where you're going next. And so that's the end of the month. So it looks like the end of the month really carries you into a great spot, into May. And so it looks like this ball is just going to keep rolling, and I'm very excited to see how it unfolds for you guys. So I think that's all I have for you. If you want to schedule something with me, you can do so in the box below. Hit like if you like this video, subscribe if you want to see the next video, and I will see you guys in May. It's crazy. Take care. Love you.